it's Mr. Calzone02 returning to Factorio with Mr. Torch.
Hello.
We get to do our best 40k impersonations of the Mechanicus because we are once again in our factory, observing the spaghetti therein.
So much spaghetti. But during the long hiatus, I have learned the ways of the factory buildings.
There is much factoring, much of the way.
No, I never remembered to blueprint anything. Dang it! Oh well.
We have learned that the concrete is the way. This is the way. The concrete and the robots and the way of the things. So yes, there were several days of play that happened, unfortunately for the rest of the interwebs, off stream with a few companions of mine that were not entirely monumental, but productive. Things happened, things changed, things were shifted around, were made, were dealt with. Cannon fire occurred in a variety of directions in an attempt to scout territory for more resources. There have been a few other deposits located in the world of oil and iron and things, but they are almost always occupadoed by debugs.
So many debugs.
So many of debugs, yes. They are everywhere. So there are a few locations that have been found that are not immediately occupied, but the few locations we have found that did contain resources of a significant quantity, for instance here, were very difficult to reach. But we did locate a location much further to the south that could possibly be reached.
Interesting. I just opened the map and there's a very curious circular thing that has happened.
Yes, that was firing artillery shells to scout.
I see. Okay.
That is the maximum range of the artillery.
Good to know.
So it was just fire shells until that was, I believe that was the last few chests of normal munitions. The light munitions we had stored up, getting them fired in all directions, as well as several box loads of normal munitions, the expensive ones.
Yes.
Because it turns out they actually have revealed a wider area. But yeah, no. But yeah, we have discovered a few things. For instance, also to the south, there's a rare metals deposit in coal, within easy reach of the shoreline.
Fairly minute, but they are there.
Yes, anything that is not in the direct purview of a massive, what are those? Suicide biter collective? So yes, that's... Unfortunately, I believe Iron Post is going to need to be abandoned until we get a significant upgrade to our combat capabilities.
Yeah, probably not having much happen there right now.
Considering as on my birthday stream, I did some experimentation with a massed sustained nuclear barrage. And the debugs evolved total immunity to explosive damage quite rapidly. So I learned a few things, one of which is that they can evolve total immunity to a damage type. Which is disturbing, to say the least. Okay. Ooh, yes, I don't like the idea of bugs that are immune to nuclear explosions.
Not really, no. No, that sounds scary. No, thank you.
I was like, maybe we should stop bombing them when we don't have enough ammo to finish them off. So we need a stockpile of significant nuclear munitions before we do much else. But one of the other things I did also discover is that the normal physical damage of the good old regular artillery shells is going to be a helpful thing to have around. And will play a significant role in removing the enemy. It's just regular artillery will do the job.
Good to know.
Just need to let ourselves build up a stockpile of it long enough, thoroughly enough to withstand the ongoing attacks, as well as maintaining our current position with repair supplies. Because the 2K physical damage that the normal artillery shells do, as well as the poison damage, the rest of the light artillery shells just don't do the heavy damage we need them to do. 35, 50 to 100 explosion damage from the grenade cluster munitions. It's not really gonna be enough.
No, probably not.
Like that's supposed to be one of the ultimate light munition is the cluster anti-biter Sinel. I think that's an interesting. It's not personnel; it's biter Sinel. Yeah, it's a thing.
We never really did end up making a item mold, did we?
That is what the bot production has pretty much become.
I see. Gotcha.
It is making all of the things somewhere, or pretty much all of the things. Got the arms, the belts, the things, the turrets of all varieties, walls, gates, radar, wind turbines, all of the different assemblers we can make, science machines of all flavors, the ammo, all of the nuclear shell production. But actually, that's the thing that I wanted to test eventually. Is there's an item called a delivery cannon in the space exploration mod.
I have heard of such things.
Yes. I want to know what happens when you delivery cannon something to somewhere with no proper receptacle. I want to shoot you with an intercontinental ballistic projectile full of perhaps rocks and see what happens.
It's going to be rocks, isn't it? So what's the cheapest munition I can find? Stone.
I haven't actually attempted it yet. But I will eventually. Another thing, while the waste reprocessing from all of our nuclear enterprises and other industry, reprocessing it for iron and copper income has indeed been quite productive, as it has produced a sizable quantity of returned iron and copper.
Good.
It's also burning through all of our stone supplies.
Oh.
Which I don't see that as a bad thing, because if we can bring in more stone, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that as a bad thing.
Well, we still have the 1.2 million that the stone mine was dealing with. It looks like it's slowly starting to peter out, and we'll just need to move some more mines in there. The stone on the map was... There were a couple of deposits, but...
Yeah, it was things of we are starting to get a significant amount of industrial waste.
I see.
The industrial waste it's one of those escalating problem things of dealing with it properly takes time and resources. It gets you resources back, but it also takes time and resources to deal with it properly. I'm glad I did it. It's also making me go, oh, okay, how do I deal with this? Because now I have these stockpiles of resources that, like, I could burn it, but you might notice that the radioactive waste has a fuel pollution modifier of 490%, and is only worth 1 megajoule.
Lovely.
Not even an efficient fuel source.
Oof.
So it is burnable, but it is extremely pollutant. Yeah, the industrial waste has a fuel value, also of 1 megajoule, and it has a fuel pollution of 370%.
Yeah.
Continue to be, yes, and here is the train setup that is processing resources into the silo bits we're going to need for the going to space bit. These, yeah,
You can
I'm pretty certain.
technically you can technically reprocess the radioactive waste to get uranium back, and it uses some of the industrial waste.
Yeah.
But the pollution from making it is still 300%.
Yeah, it's still intensely polluting.
Yeah.
The silos are coming along. We're just short on concrete. I think that was the last problem I was attempting to solve, is how do I get more concrete out of the process here? What is this short on? This is short on stone brick. Why is that short on stone bricks? What does this need? This needs stone. This needs stone because we have no stone input. That's hey! So if we have no stone input, how does one get stone?
Well, I'm about to fix the stone input from our existing stone mine. Because that'll be...
Crank up the bot request for stone. As a thing. So we should see a significant increase in robot traffic, bringing stone to the port. Say should. That was right. I may... This whole setup might be slightly overloading the bot network. That was one of the things I was discussing last time, was that we may have become slightly over-reliant on the robots with this setup.
Mm-hmm.
That it might be why trains and belts are better than bots, is because we're burning a lot of fuel keeping this many bots in the air. Okay. Was suggested that I chop the networking. To conserve the power.
I feel like there were a lot of lessons learned post most of this being built.
Yeah, it's been a significant amount of time since we last touched this save. So,
Mm-hmm.
play with other people occurred. Lessons were learned, videos were watched. Time was spent doing other things and mulling over how things were done. And how best to possibly, in the future, improve some of these things. So that they might be more efficient. Okay, there we go. Some of that easy. Ah! That's one of the other things I had set up. Salts and things. The mineral water setup got started. I
Oh,
know.
good.
I know this is not efficient way to do anything. But it was, I need this now. I'll figure it out, get it running, and deal with the other side effects later.
It do be how it be.
But it is working. And producing the lithium. That's needed for things. Things and stuff. What was the lithium for? I've got FE and I can do search. Lithium. Yeah, lithium chloride and water from the recipe lithium processing. Lithium. What is it used in? Like, it's a product of a couple of things. Oh, wait, no, it's the data card stuff, isn't it, for space science? It's one of those in-between technologies, isn't it?
Oh, probably, yeah.
It's a, we don't need it right now, but we're going to need it in space type thing. If I'm
Right.
remembering correctly. Not. What is it? Where is it? Utility production. Not advanced electronics. What is it? Rocket science packs. Junk data cards. Made in a space manufactory. Machine learning data. Oh. Rocket control units are... Okay. That's right, we've got those. Those are all making now. All crafting currently. Nuclear operator. Thermal radiator radiates away excess heat from overheated thermal fluid. That's right, because the whole space tech stuff is what the next bit. Oh, that's interesting. Rough data storage substrate is glass iron plates. Oh, and this is where we start getting scrap as part of our production recipes.
Right.
And start needing a way to deal with scrap. Yeah. Blank data card. There's 2 recipes for polished data storage substrates, which is required for the blank data card. Advanced circuits, copper plates. That's right, and I believe last time we were talking about using space, going into looking for asteroids as alternative resource income.
Right.
Because once we get out into space, we can start shipping resources back or processing them in place to do things. That should be fine. Oh my. Yes, we do have quite a few of those. Let's look at the logistics network, shall we, and see how many of those we actually have. Will it show me? Can I look at L? L for logistics network. Duh. See here. We do have a meteor defense installation somewhere. As well as 3 delivery cannons and 3 delivery cannon chests. Ha-ha! Requires inventory to safely catch. Oh, that's a good cravat to know. If the box is full, it can't catch things and will be exploded.
Good to know. Sooner rather than later.
Delivery cannon capsule. We have stack. We have signal transmitters. Meteor point defense. Wind turbine. Where we have, according to the logistics network, or one of them at least, we have 80 uranium hiding somewhere, and 117 of the nuclear bombs. We have 66 of the nuclear artillery shells.
I see.
Isn't bad.
Were you looking for the desynchronizer bombs?
That's what I was looking at, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There's 20 in a box where I am. Just hanging out in a chest.
That's fine.
Oh, those are the rest of them, and a bunch of uranium.
Yeah, I was just looking
and
at
there's even more.
Got 200
So
chemical rockets.
If you need to find them, they're down near Old Base section, just to the lower left of the double sand grinders. They're in the little boxes right next to the very big storage container.
All good. We got 2K of iron ore in the logistics network apparently. As well as 5K of copper. Good thing. 13K copper plates. Is it the iron we're really stagnating on? Is that the thing? I think it is.
Quite possibly. I see what you mean about drone-based item mall.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of things in production there.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, 10 out of 10 recommend. Next time, maybe we don't do the very expensive factory buildings because they're very handy when they're not 5,000 concrete.
Exactly, yeah.
500 concrete, much more doable. Because I was using a bunch for something not that long ago in my other world.
Oh, that's right. The nuclear reprocessing still needed work, but was producing fuel cells. Occasionally. That's what I'm going to do. Need to be connected to the robot network. Need the connection. Do. So, after all of my efforts to disconnect the bot network, north and south, come to the conclusion that, unfortunately, due to the way things have been designed thus far, that doesn't quite work as intended. And certain things very inconveniently stop working. Autosave. Double line. Just that. And the world has suddenly become connected. Yay! Okay, so right, let me be able to pull from that anyway. I do want them to pull from this one. I need the large storage warehouse. Advanced circuit. Or not. Or I can do an arm somewhere. Yes, there. Maybe a little faster.
Well, I have hooked up the purple tech cards up to the science train loading network.
Cool.
I do not know why they were not previously, but they are now. Not that they're going to last long.
There was a temporary production down here. Is running off of the bot network, supplying it uranium.
I see. Just going to
All the
to
way
there.
down here where I am, yeah.
Yeah, and I see it loads onto that train.
It loads onto the research train when it comes through.
Oh, I see.
Because the other train doesn't have any free available slots for that tech to be loaded.
Right.
So it doesn't load. It just sits in the box to wait to be loaded. That one doesn't have any uranium. That one doesn't have any uranium. That one doesn't have any uranium. That, I believe, is that. All of that removed. There is no longer a need for that production here. Or those. And careful, and I put the uranium in the plane, and then pick them up.
We wouldn't happen to have any just uranium fuel cells handy, no?
Yes. If you look to the left of the reprocessing area way up there,
Okay.
you'll see it. Or is that not a thing? There's not actually. There's one. Okay. Unless you just picked them up.
No, I did not. I'm gonna nick that one, though. Oh, I have 4 spent cells. Maybe the bots will know what to do with that.
There is a spent cell requester chest there going into that reprocessor there.
Well, I put that in. I see you've got a burner turbine working on the radioactive waste and industrial waste.
Some of it, yes. It needs to go eventually. You can't process all of it. It's got to get burned eventually.
No, that's entirely fair. We are not really making as much fuel as otherwise should be.
Progress.
Steel! There's no steel.
I remember there should be some. Not a huge amount.
I'm plonking a thing of plates directly into these assemblers just to get some made, because I need cells.
We have 170-ish steel plates. That number is dropping.
I see. Well, I got all the fuel cells I need, so good enough.
All that matters, as long as we have enough to do the things we need to do.
Yes, I know. Ouch, stop it. Need to hold it long enough to start crafting.
Yeah, that is just a storage cell that is a quarter full of just industrial waste.
Oh, you're big. Roger that.
What did you discover?
Oh, I was making a whatever. I was making what's called a portable RTG, which, for lack of any better description, is Back to the Future's Mr. Fusion.
Handy.
And it produces 800 kilowatts, uses 4 uranium fuel cells, but never needs to be refueled.
Yeah, that seems like a handy thing to have. It's quite big, though, isn't it?
It's 4x4.
Not that big.
No, it's not that bad. Now that I took the time to make the Mark II power armor, it fits, actually. But
yeah.
I got myself a big battery before, so now it's just slowly working on getting this up. Okay, I don't need those anymore. Stop. The reason I never worked with drones in my single player is because I forget to turn off the requests once they've been filled.
So you just end up with random stuff in your inventory and
Just constantly random gack, and the bots are chasing me all over the map and dying of a battery loss, and just like...
giving me 1,000 sticks. Why did I ever request 1,000 wood? Oh yeah, I was building this telephone pole. Oops. To have an army of robots following you around the map with a single piece of wood each.
Yeah. That was the other thing I discovered, that upgrading to actual bots, you get 7 items instead of 1. So significantly fewer bots needed.
So that is the reason to make the actual logistics robots rather than the basic beginner ones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's definitely a good idea. I'll keep that in mind. That might reduce the workload of the robots quite significantly.
I'm gonna go ahead and delete the deconstruction planners that have physical manifestation in some of the boxes. Because I don't think they're really needed. All they do is delete things.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. I think they just got crammed in there for somebody with emptying their inventory.
Oh, probably. There's a bajillion radioactive wastes, chemical mine packs, and synchronizer pumps. Just a little bit of everything. So. Oh, did stone finally start moving even remotely? Oh, pitiful amounts.
It's happening. It is occurring. Not flawless, but it's better than 0. We'll say the barrages that have been done have dramatically increased our survivability. And that our main base is under no current imminent threat of total destruction.
Good. I see. Question time. Now that Purple seems to be somewhat connected to the system, what tech do you want to work on next?
That is a very good question.
Because we have things like mining productivity, which just straight up increases all the yields regardless of what is in the ground. Effect transmission for beacons instead of having the modules. A nuclear train. Mark III battery packs. Or the Mark III versions of all of the modules. I did not feel like any of the other ones here are overly needed, and we don't have yellow tech running yet, do we?
Poop. That's a thing, isn't it? No, we do have yellow tech.
Well, because then there's large containers for logistics system, like the requester and buffer chests and stuff, for warehouse size. There's the flying heavy ship. There's efficient fabrication, which might be handy to not use less, or using less materials for basic components.
I'm pretty sure we need it.
Need what?
The efficient fabrication.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, that gets us the rough data slates.
Okay,
That
that's
uses
a
the
good place
lithium.
to start.
Or no, it doesn't use lithium. It uses
silicone, rare metals.
What uses the lithium is the electronic components recipe uses the lithium.
Yeah. 10 electronic components uses lithium, so 3 glass, 3 plastic. Yeah. There we go. Good to know.
Yeah, more efficient ways of fabricating basic components. Yay! That seems like a good thing to have.
Definitely.
Rocket survivability, rocket reusability. Things and stuff and parts. Fusion energy. That seems useful. Unfortunately, I believe it's a ways away. Shield iron engine. Space probe rocket silo. Space-based rocket silo for launching space probes. Pylon substation. Astroparticle simulations. Gel. The plague. I remember when we did the weapons test for that. It just deletes all biters in the world, permanently and forever. Completely irreversible. This planet is forever freed of the bug menace. I am definitely certain that we will be making that at first opportunity. If we don't have to kill the nigh on invulnerable bugs, that's a good thing.
Indeed.
Because if I remember correctly, yeah. It might take a while to make, too. Never mind. There goes that plan. Skim straight to end the bug menace. Yeah, looking at those recipes, that's not a thing that's gonna happen anytime soon. Good news, we could use the delivery cannon to fire it at a planet.
Good to know.
We don't have to be on the planet we're shooting that rocket at. We can do it from space. Vitalic acid bioscrubbers. Yes, there is much to do. Arg. Unfortunately here, I think most of it just relies on getting rocks into concrete, into the silos, and starting the space chain. The things in space! You require concrete, and that is a measly, like, 10 concrete on that entire train. Okay. So... oh, bother. That should get things moving along a little bit faster. Not huge amounts faster, but some speed. Not out of that much either, because it's already a big chunk of it's already been processed. So I didn't even think of reprocessing the materials from the earlier steps of excavating the silos, because the silos, they put out a bunch of stone first, and then they need a bunch of stone to make the things.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think of cyclically processing them. Autosave, and that's a bunch of landfill. I mean, it's not like we won't need landfill. See here. Did I remember to set up no, I did not. This will brain, I'm going a thing. I need to go yes, that one. Okay. To remember where the heck I was going for a second there. Like, wait a minute, I need this in a place somewhere. Do the things.
See, we've ended up with a bit of an overstock of the rare metals from the core miner.
Yeah, because we're just not using that much of it.
Yeah. And we're just not able to keep up with the production at the moment. Either that or it's just the way that it's set up, it cannot be done continuously. I can't remember if that was because of energy concerns or if that's been sorted.
I think it's just one of those resources where we just don't need that much of it with the setup we have. Like, we aren't paralyzing or parallelizing the production of those resources to that extent that where we need that much of it.
Well, what are you referring to?
Well, there's only a couple of recipes that actually need the rare metals, right?
This is true. So I wonder if there's any way to reprocess it into anything else. Because otherwise I can just skip the enrichment stage and we'll go back to refining it raw.
It's used in making artillery wagons, advanced radar, electric mining drills Mark II. That's a thing. Heavy machine gun turrets. That's a thing. Nuclear reactors, processing units. That's what it's needed for. That's the big deal. It's needed for making a reactor sarcophagus, but since we aren't futzing with the variable output reactors, we aren't going to need a reactor sarcophagus because we won't have a Chernobyl happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's needed for making normal reactors, cooling towers. It's delivery cannon capsules, so that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
200 rare metals makes a delivery cannon capsule, and I think they're single use. So when we start shipping stuff between planets, that's
We
when
will
it's going to
want.
start needing
Yeah.
boatloads of it.
Yeah.
Material testing packs. Oh, yes. We are going to need tons of it for that as well. Once we start getting emisite crystals in,
Mm-hmm.
it's one crystal, one plate, one copper plate, one plastic bar, one rare metal. Gets us a material testing pack. And that, yeah, used for contaminated scrap and atomic data. And atomic data,
Where are you able to look at all this, by the way?
SNEI, the button in the upper left.
Oh.
You can left click and right click using that. Like once you click on it, you can then click the search,
Hmm.
and then you can left click, right click on the once things are in that search menu there. You can left click on it to find what makes it, and then you can right click on that same item to find what uses it, which is fucking handy as all hell.
I am now going to use this a lot more than I thought.
Because it lets you go, okay, I have the thing. What am I doing with the thing again? What am I using this for? Oh, okay. Or
Yeah,
what
I need to get rid of this, and what can I make use of it?
Yeah. Rare metals are also used for making nitric acid using mineral water and ammonia. That's a thing.
Okay.
It's used for making breeder reactors. That's cool. It's used with low-density structures to make deuterium fuel cells for fusion reactors. That's cool.
Yeah.
It can make immersium plates. That's handy. Immersium plates can be used to make delivery cannons. Okay, that's a thing. Immersium plates are used to make antimatter artillery shells. Which do radioactive damage. Okay, that's good to know. Antimatter shells and things. Alright, I was doing thank you. Okay. Rare metals. Are used in making advanced chemical plants, advanced furnaces, advanced loaders, advanced steam turbines, the advanced tank, advanced transport belt, singularity reactor, that's cool, fusion reactors, intergalactic transceiver, the large roboport, laser artillery, the quarry drill, railgun, rocket turrets, nice. Immersium beams. 4 rare metals and some immersite powder. Small roboport.
So generally speaking, we do want to stockpile it at some point along the line.
Because it is used in things. There we go. Yeah. Matter research data. 5 crystals and 5 plastic bars and 5 rare metals and 5 lithium. Used for matter tech cards. Yep. Okay. So we will need it for technology eventually.
Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, we just need to find a space for it so it's not clogging up the system.
So 2 or 3 large storage warehouses might not be a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say after we have like a warehouse or 2 of it stored up, we may not need to necessarily bother storing more.
Mm-hmm.
I believe right now what the things we need are just we need more iron.
Well, that was the thing. I was trying to think if we had the power capacity to just run the core miner at full strength and then set up a secondary processing site. Or just straight up, we're kind of at the point where, in all honesty, this is where I look at this and go, start over. But we don't have the materials to do that, so we have to find some way to get the materials.
That is part of the challenge, is it not? Is that eventually the factory runs out of resources that it has easy access to, regardless of the settings. And eventually you have to start making do things you have access to. Oof. Okay. I am gonna be. Hi, give me your roboports. No, Google, I'm not talking to you.
I didn't understand that.
Of course you didn't. Alright. Go that way. Oh yeah, that's a lot more concrete coming down the line. We should see, that should be more than enough to finish the next stage. Or to the next stage, it should kick over. Yes. Almost. No, almost. So close. So close. Do we have anywhere that is mining rocks? That's still a thing we're doing, so. Yes. Yes, it is.
We are. I just upgraded them to big mines. So hopefully they're a bit faster.
Ooh. Oh, those are fucking huge. That's very cool. That's some industrial scale mining there. Holy crap.
Indeed, I was very impressed, especially with the size that they do. They do 7 by 7.
Very nice. Oh, that's why the bots aren't bringing me any of the things. My logistics network is off. Duh! Robots, bring me the things!
Sorry, I was just like ninja attacked by my cat while I was trying to have a bite of pizza.
It happens.
He leapt up onto the back of my chair, yanking me backwards because he is a chonk, and then immediately like trying to force his way down my shoulder and eat my piece of pizza out of my hand. I'm just like, no, stop, you jerk. And now he's just rumbling in my lap because he thinks he's a good boy. Stop biting my hand. Just because I'm not petting you doesn't mean that you can nibble my nose or my. You know what I mean. Words.
They are the caddy. The PD and the caddy. Yes, the robots are bringing me the things. Yay!